See, we're getting messages all along the way. This drive with care is something Krishna points out in the Bhagavad Gita, that first he says, Yanti deva-vratā devān, pitṛn yānti pitṛ-vratāḥ, bhūtāni yānti bhūtejyā, Yanti mad-yājino imam. Yanti means to go. He said, you can go any direction you want in this universe. It's a matter of where you push your attention, because where attention goes, energy flows. And he says, you should drive with care, because, for instance, if you drive blindfolded, you're going to smash into somebody and it's going to have a negative consequence on your life. So in the Gita, he talks about how you should be aware of how the world's comprised of three modes of material nature, and be careful where you associate yourself and how you interact with the world. Be very careful and deliberate where you go by getting knowledge about how to move towards a worthy destination and how to choose all the right circumstances so that you can keep moving in that direction. It's just the idea of being careful is really important, because the material world's sort of booby-trapped. If you touch certain things, you get an inordinate result that you weren't expecting. So it's good to be aware of that, how the material world's set up. What do you think from the point of view of physics, Gabby?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's important to pay attention to what you pay attention to, you know. It's just, you need to have objective when you're moving around. It's the most, yeah, you can't drive blind. I think you put it very, very, very eloquently.
And what about from physics?
From physics, it's the exact same thing, of course. You know, you're gonna go solve a problem. You know, there's I mean, in physics, I guess it's easier. I think that's why I was attracted to physics. It's the easiest thing in a sense, you know, like there's always a correct answer. You know, 2 + 2 is not 4 because someone said, I love saying this. 2 + 2 isn't 4 because someone said it was. Because if you hold 2 apples in one hand and 2 apples in the other hand, it is in fact 4, and that's a beautiful thing, right? And so in a sense, there's always, anytime you're solving a problem, you know, you're solving a problem. You know, find the velocity or find the height. You know, you're expecting to get feet or meters per second or whatever it is that you're solving for. So there's always a very nicely outlined, you know, solution. So in that sense, it's easier. I mean, but in life, it's, you know, you deal with, like, not everything is absolute. Like, there's not always going to be one right answer. You'll have gradients. You know, people aren't just black and white. So that's a harder thing to account for. But it's like, yeah, if you're going to go drive somewhere, you still know your destination. I mean, you don't know what road you're going to take, but you know your destination. So, yeah, purpose is super important, yeah.
Thank you very much. What's your major? Engineering? Do you want to say something in relation to engineering?
In relation to what topic specifically?
This ideas about purposeful living and being careful, planning it out, knowing what your goal is.
Yes. I think a lot with engineering, or like coming up with engineered solutions, it's about identifying the problem first, because sometimes if you don't have a clear objective of what you're trying to overcome or where you're trying to go, the solution that's made is sometimes arbitrary. So keeping like a clear objective of what am I trying to solve, and then coming up with the steps that really organize the best way to go around it, and then you can kind of be creative with it, and it's fun, and then you create a good solution to it.
That just made my whole day, I think. Could you do one step further and say what problem are we trying to solve through the process of bhakti yoga from your objective?
I think maybe being isolated, and so when you're isolated from everything else, you don't feel connected and you feel unsafe and afraid. And so in bhakti yoga and giving, you realize that you are connected to each other, and that the more you give, the more you get. And so then life becomes a lot more fun, a lot more free, and you can just give as much as you want, and you know that you'll always be in return, and that what you give, you're giving to yourself because it's also you. You're connected to it.
Bravo, bravissimo. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, be careful. Drive with care. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare